To Dr. McNeely, President, CEO of Allen University, the Board of Trustees, administration, faculty, staff, to Dr. Ernestine McNeely, to the graduating class of 2024, the parents, guardians, family members, friends, to all who have assembled in this place on this day, I greet you in the joy of knowing Jesus. I started this journey 8 years ago as the incoming chair of the Board of Trustees, and I have seen 8 graduating classes. But I must confess that this class I will remember for the rest of my life. Let us pray. Do it again. Amen. It is truly an honor and a privilege to be with you today. This is an important day. And let me begin by saying we are proud of you. Each of us on this stage and in this crowd are proud of what you have accomplished today. So I say to you, well done. You survived the storm. You came through the fire. You endured the valley. And today you are not only a graduate of Allen University, but you are also a finisher. And no matter what else happens after this, you will always know that you have what it takes to finish what you start. Because this is the day you made this, because this is the day you made it clear on this day to the world that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And no matter what you hear on social media, education is still important. I'm glad you didn't listen to the people who say we don't need a college education. Because to them on this day, I say, did Martin Luther King Jr. need a college education? Did W.E.B. Du Bois need a college education? Did Booker T. Washington need a college education? Did Zora Neale Hurston need a college education? What about Barack Obama? What about J. Cole? What about Nicki Minaj? Nicki Minaj graduated from LaGuardia School of Music and Performing Arts. J. Cole graduated from St. John's University. Universities were created in Africa. And we would be foolish to turn our backs on what we created and gave to the world. The people who do not love your blackness would love for you to believe that all you need is a high school education. Do you know what 2 million black people did after slavery together? I'll tell you what they did. They went to school. That's where this particular university, Allen University, come from. And education is still the thing that empowers us to be better versions of who we are. And that's the point of all of this today. The real aim of education is not to get a degree or a job. The real aim of education is not what kind of grades you got. Because the aim of all of this is to empower you to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Education does not cultivate your character as well as your mind is no education at all. Don't tell me you got good grades, but you are a liar and a thief. Just because you got an A in math doesn't mean that you can be trusted. How you are educated and you how you are educated and you are walking around this world lying and stealing from people that really is an indictment on your education. Now, you do know Donald Trump went to the University of Pennsylvania, but he is the most uneducated person in America. I'm telling you, the ability to be honest is just as important as discovering how intelligent you are. Because intelligence without character makes you a manipulative and cunning person. And we know that you are educated when you are loyal to what you believe. We know that you are educated when you are devoted to something greater than yourself. When you can be kind and compassionate. Your education shows up when you can speak truth to power. When you can tell it like it is, when you are not afraid to walk alone, when you stand up for yourself. People who are truly educated are not afraid to tell people not today. They're not afraid to tell evil no. And sometimes you even have to tell the devil hell no. Because education will lead you to a place that will cause you to be able to stand up for justice, to stand up for truth, to stand up for the weak and the vulnerable, and to say no to war, no to genocide. It is when you know that weeping endures for a night and joy comes in the morning that tells you that you are truly an educated individual. And I have to tell you that you are one of the amazing graduating classes in the history of the world. 4 years ago, most of you started your college journey in the middle of a pandemic. You started this journey under extreme and dire circumstances with sickness and death all around you. You began this journey in the bruising darkness, armed with nothing but hope and determination. Nobody has ever had to face what you had to go through, and you handle it with courage and style. And look at you now. You came out of it shining like pure gold. And if you don't believe it, look at the neighbor sitting next to you, and you are looking to a survivor. You are looking next to somebody who conquered odds and circumstances built up against them. You are looking at somebody who is a winner. As a matter of fact, you can even look at yourself in the morning and know that there is a winner inside of you. My brother, do you even know how amazing you are? My sister, do you have any idea how absolutely incredible you are? You are giant killers, dragon slayers, mountain movers, and sons and daughters of God. And on this day, to your parents, your grandparents, family, friends, and guardians, I say thank you for investing in these remarkable graduates. They would not be here without you, and your sacrifices have not been in vain. This day is why it was all worth it. This moment is why you worked extra hours, prayed extra prayers, and did what you had to do to make sure that they would be able to have this commencement experience. And for that, on this day, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the president of this university, the administration, faculty, and staff, and all of us who are family members of Allen University, we say thank you. To the graduates, I say to you, I know sometimes your parents and family can get on your nerves, but I promise you that they have made sacrifices for you that you don't even know about. I'm reminded of a story of the young lady who was graduating from college, but didn't want her mother to show up at the graduation. The young lady's mother suffered from scars all over her body, and quite frankly, she was ashamed of how her mother looked. And when the time came for her to talk to her mother about graduation, she was frank and honest about the fact that she didn't want her mother to go. At some point, the mother realized that it was how she looked that made her daughter ashamed to be seen with her. And that was when the mother said to her, "Do you know how I got these scars? I didn't get these scars because I was somewhere doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing. I got these scars because right after you were born, the house that we were living in caught fire. And I ran out of the building thinking your father had grabbed you because he was in the room next to yours. But when I realized that he couldn't get to the room because the flames were too hot, I ran back in the house to get you. I ran back in the house and jumped through the fire to bring you out. And these scars I got fighting to save your life." The mother said to the daughter, "So I understand if you don't want me to be there, and that's okay. But I'm not ashamed of my scars because this is what it took for you to live. I know your parents and your families are not perfect, but you have no idea what they had to go through in order for you to be here today. You see, you need to understand you can't be black in America and not have scars. But this is what the people who love you were willing to endure to make sure you survive the fire of racism and hatred in America. And before you judge them too harshly, remember how they got their scars." Well, I want to tell you one more thing, and I want you to get this, graduates. As a matter of fact, help me help you get it. Turn to your fellow graduates and say, never underestimate your value. Never underestimate your value. Have you ever heard of Roy Raymond? Well, Roy Raymond found the Victoria's Secret in 1977 with a couple of dollars and the sweat of his brow. And for a while, the company did well. He opened 5 stores. He made money. He made his money back. But somewhere around 1982, the company was in debt and things were not going well. And because things got to be difficult, Roy Raymond wanted to sell the company, and it comes in stopped by a man by the name of Lex Wexner. And in 1982, Les Wexner offers Roy $1 million to buy his company. $1 million in cash. And in Roy's mind, that was a good deal. He gets cash, the debt is no longer a problem, and he gets to live a good life with $1 million in the bank. But the problem in this story is that Roy didn't know what he had. Roy underestimated the value of the very company he had built from the ground. Roy sold his company for $1 million to a man who expanded the value of the company to over $1 billion less than 10 years later. If you're not lost, or even if you are a little lost, let me help you. The point here is this: nobody sells a multi-billion-dollar company for $1 million. Roy Raymond practically gave his company away for nothing because he didn't know what he had. Roy could have gotten millions of dollars out of the deal if he had just understood the value of what he possessed. But when you don't know what you have, you'll end up just giving it away. This degree that you are about to receive is not just a piece of paper. It's not just some words hanging on a wall. Oh no, this degree is a certification of your inherent and ontological value. This degree says to the world that you can't treat her any kind of way and expect to get away with it because she's too intelligent to be played with. She's read too much Alice Walker and too many books by bell hooks to be manipulated by. This degree says to everybody who comes into your life, you had better treat him with respect because he's not the kind of man that's going to let you walk all over him. He's got too much Richard Allen and Marcus Garvey in him to just lay down and give up just because things get hard. And if you're going to deal with him, you better be prepared to treat him like a man. If you're going to deal with her, you better be prepared to treat her like a woman because they know too much to let you treat them like a child. When you get this degree, it's not just the people on this stage telling you that you're ready. It's 153 years of ancestors who graduated from this school, putting their mark of approval upon your life. And when the ancestors say that you are ready indeed. So do not underestimate this moment and do not misappropriate your value because you are more ready than you realize. And whether you know it or not, you have something that keeps driving the devil crazy. You have something inside of you that keeps driving racism and sexism crazy. White supremacy did everything it could do to keep you from having this moment. First, it put us in bondage. Then it made it illegal for us to learn to read. And if that wasn't enough, it tried to convince us that the only way for you to make it was to sell your soul. But in the words of my grandmother and my great-grandmother, the devil is a lion. Every time evil tried to stop you, you kept getting up. Every time hatred tried to break you, you kept getting up. Every time anxiety tried to distract you, you kept getting up. And when you got out of the bed this morning, your enemies looked at each other and said to themselves, damn, she's at it again. He just keep on getting up. I'm going to... I feel sorry this morning for the people who don't like you. I feel sorry for the people who said you would never make it. There are a lot of people who are going to wish they had treated you better because he that is within you is greater than he that is in the world. And if God be for you, who can be against you? So you come on and get this degree and remember that to whom much is given, much is required. Finally, graduates of 2024, to my last graduating class as the chairman of the board of trustees of Allen University, you are about to enter a world steeped in conflict and chaos, a world torn with division and devastation, a world ravaged with despair and despondency. The challenges ahead are steep, the days ahead will be long, and the road ahead is tough. There are forces that will try to intimidate you into giving up and not believing that hope is possible. There are agendas out there that want you to quit. They will try to convince you that you are inadequate. They will try to box you in to fit in their own limitations. But always remember the words of Kendrick Lamar. They not like us. They may be strong, but they are not powerful. They not like us. They may have more money, but they don't have more might. They not like us. They may have more influence, but they don't have more impact. They not like us. We are the descendants of Richard and Sarah Allen. We are the children of kings and queens. We are the answer prayers of our ancestors. We are Allen University. We are Yellow Jackets. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. And when they get in your way, step to the side and move forward.